What's up everybody, Chef Glenn B and I'm back in the kitchen, and today I'm working on chicken enchiladas. Chicken enchiladas are a traditional Mexican dish, obviously, but this is just my humble take on it. All right, so the first thing I need to do is I need to cook my chicken breast. I'm gonna saute my chicken breast. Most enchilada recipes will call for you to boil your chicken breast. That's fine if that's what you want to do, but for me, and again, this is my take on it, for me, I want to impart as much flavor as I can into each element of any dish that I make. So with this dish, I'm gonna season it with salt and pepper, and I'm gonna saute it again, because if I boil it, a lot of my flavor is gonna end up in the water, all right? So I'm gonna season this with salt and pepper, and I'm gonna saute it in this pan. All right, so my chicken's looking good. I'm gonna stick it in the oven and allow it to finish cooking. All right, so I need to work on my enchilada sauce. So I'm gonna start by making a roux. Got a hot pot here, and I've got some canola oil. I've got equal parts flour, and I'm gonna whisk this together. I'm gonna cook it. Again, I'm making a roux, so I wanna bring this together, and what I wanna do is I wanna cook it beyond the point where it actually tastes like raw flour. I want it to develop a bit of a flavor, so we're gonna need to get a little bit of color on it. All right, so I've got the color that I'm looking for on my roux. Got a nice little peanut butter color going on. It's not as blonde as it was. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my chili powder to this roux. Allow that to toast up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and add my tomato paste. And I've got some chicken stock. I'm gonna go ahead and add that. I'm gonna go ahead and add my spices to my enchilada mixture. I've got some garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, cumin, and oregano. All right, so I've got my enchilada sauce mixed up. I wanna allow it to simmer for about 10 minutes. I want it to thicken a little bit. I also wanna check the seasoning, see if it needs anything. Salt, a little bit of salt. So I got my chicken out of the oven, it's cooked. I wanna allow this to cool because I'm gonna chop it up. My sauce is simmering, bubbling really nicely. So my sauce is getting close to the consistency that I want. As you can see, it's starting to thicken up. I'm gonna move this back to the stove and allow it to continue to simmer while I build my chicken filling. All right, so I'm gonna use the same pan that I sauteed my chicken in to cook my onions and to build the rest of my chicken filling. Got a little canola oil I'm gonna add to the pan. I'm gonna add my onions. So while my onions are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and get my chicken cut. So my onions are looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and add my cooked chicken to the pan. I'm gonna turn the heat off. All right, I've got these green chilies that I'm gonna add. I could use fresh roasted chilies, but the flavor of these chilies are just unmatched. There's no need in me trying to fix that. I'm just gonna add half the can. See where we are. Add a little bit more. So I got my chicken and peppers and onions mixed together here. I'm just gonna dump it into this dish until I'm ready to make the enchiladas. All right, so I'm ready to get my tortillas ready. You can, I'm using corn tortillas. You could very well use flour or corn. Corn actually just makes it a little more authentic. That flavor, corn flavor, is much more superior to the flour in my opinion. Now, what I'm gonna do is I've got some oil here and I'm gonna fry these up a little bit because as you can see, they're very soft, and if I were to just wrap these up and put these into that sauce and bake them, these things would just probably fall apart. You know, we want to make them a little more resilient, fry them up, give them a little bit of a texture so that when I go to wrap these things up, they don't just fall apart in the sauce. So I'm gonna go straight into the oil with these tortillas. So I'm ready to put my enchiladas together. I just want to show you one thing before we go any further. So as I mentioned earlier, I talked about frying and just partially cooking these tortillas before I actually wrap them up to give them a little resilience. And as you can see, they look a little more resilient. But just basically look at this tortilla and look at that. Now, which do you think is going to have more flavor? I mean, literally, they're the same thing, but you've taken this a little further. You've cooked it a little bit. Which one do you think is going to have more flavor? So as I talked about earlier, we want to build flavor throughout the dish. You know, not just certain parts of the dish, but each dish needs to be individually flavorful, in my opinion. So definitely, this process is going to yield more flavor, more taste. So I'm ready to put my enchiladas together. I've got all of my ingredients here. I've got some a Mexican blend cheese. You know, normally I shred my own cheese, but there are a few times where I make exceptions, and this is one. So I'm gonna start with my enchilada sauce. Just put a nice layer on the bottom. Then I'm gonna take more tortilla, coat it in the sauce, chicken in the middle, or actually off to the side a little bit because you gotta roll it up. Some cheese. Rolled it up, fold it side down. There you are. And another one. Chicken. Cheese. All right, so I've got my enchiladas in my dish. I'm gonna top them with some sauce. So I've got my enchiladas in the dish. My oven preheated to 375 degrees. I'm gonna stick them in the oven uncovered for 20 minutes. So I'm gonna garnish this with some green onion. And some cilantro. All right, so my enchiladas are done. I want to give them a try, and I'm going to see if I can get it paired with the wine here. See what we're working with these enchiladas. That's delicious. So I figured this would be a bit of a tough pairing. I started initially with the 2020 Force Majeure Viognier, and I tasted it before I actually tasted the enchiladas, and thought I probably should have a backup just in case this one doesn't work. Nice golden color in the glass. It's kind of like a lemon creaminess, because there's citrus going on, but it's really creamy. It's I don't know, it's kind of difficult to explain. The nose is a little subdued. Let's see what it's tasting like. Nice acidity. It's really good Viognier. I've got here the 2017 Toulouse Pinot Gris. It was just a thought that I had at the last moment, maybe a Pinot Gris would work. It's a lot darker. It's like a deep golden. Seems like it's got a little bit more viscosity. A little more outspoken on the nose. Getting some like Granny Smith apple. Getting a little bit of citrus as well. Let's see what it's tasting like. Oh. Now this is the acidity on this is much more prevalent than the Force Majeure Viognier. A lot of acidity. Really good, expressive, young, zippy type fruit. Although it's a little older, but this is a little zippier. Now let's see which one's gonna pair with this. This is a challenge. First for the Force Majeure Viognier. Huh. I'm not sure. It's okay. Let's see what the Pinot Gris is doing. Wouldn't that be something if neither of the wines that I'm trying to pair work? There's always a backup plan though. Luckily, we don't have to go to that backup plan. We've always got a backup plan, but not this time. The Toulouse Pinot Gris pairs really nicely. I love the Viognier, just doesn't pair well with this enchilada. Let's see. I gotta double check, make sure that what I'm tasting is you know, what I'm tasting. Delicious enchilada. Wow, that Pinot Gris is pairing nicely. That's awesome. That just totally flipped my plan. My plan was that this was gonna pair. Luckily, I had a little backup plan here. I want to thank you all for watching my video today. Don't forget to click on the link in the description for the recipe. For those of you that are new and have yet to subscribe, please go ahead and take this opportunity to subscribe to my channel. I regularly drop videos where I share my favorite recipes and I pair them with wine. And as always, the intent is to get the perfect pairing. I'm Chef Glenn B, and as always, eat well.